and a lot of times people, no matter what I say or what others say, they just don't get it, because sometimes there's just this part of their brain that doesn't want to receive the message because they're happy in their little comfy spot that they're in, and they don't want to take it to that another level. Welcome back, everybody. Coach Rob here, and I wanted to take a second to do a quick sort of add-on video just to clarify something. A question came across in my previous video. If you haven't seen it, it's the one right before this one. It's called Why You Are Not Building Muscle, Part 1. And this is meant to be a two-part video series. First one is addressing exercise intensity. It's probably the number one reason why most people aren't growing the kind of muscle that they want to put on in the gym, and maybe what you can do about it and my philosophy behind that. And then part 2 is going to be addressing hormonal issues, anabolic hormones, testosterone, estrogen, growth hormone, and these things where we may have some deficiencies out there and what you can do to remedy that. And then we'll also talk about the all-important recovery element as well, which goes into training volume and splits and so forth, which I feel made this video kind of necessary because I got a comment in the comment section of the part 1 video where someone said, would you put that same intensity into every workout if you're doing a PPL split, meaning push-pull legs? Now, first we have to clarify what kind of a PPL split you're doing. And I'll go out and say this right on the outset. I am a pro split guy. Some call them bro splits. Not a big fan of that term because it's not just dumbass gym bros out there doing these splits. There's a case can be made that some of the hundreds of your highest level competitive bodybuilders and physique competitors out there, both on the professional and the amateur level, still do these splits. And there's some pretty brilliant coaches out there that still coach this way and advocate this style of training. And I've tried them all. And I've been doing this nearly 30 years, and I still find the pro split approach works best for me because of the aforementioned exercise intensity level that I push myself through per workout, because recovery is such a critical element of growth and overcompensation that you want to make sure that you have ample time to recover completely from the previous stimulus, and that you've created an environment for new tissue growth to occur. And then you don't want to short circuit that process by hitting that muscle too soon and sort of, limiting your success, for lack of a better term. So I'm not a huge fan of push-pull splits unless you're doing it one of two different ways. Now, some people do a push-pull split because they don't have a lot of time. They do a very crazy job, maybe got kids or school or whatever, and time is very limited. So they will do a push-pull split within a week's time, which means it's a 3-day split. They'll do pushing movements on day 1, take a day off, do pulling movements on day 2, take a day off, do leg movements on day 3, make it a traditional leg day, which is fine. I'm a fan of that because if I'm doing a push-pull legs split 3 days a week, I'm going to give each workout hell. I'm going to go as hard as I absolutely possibly can because I'm going to see that as an opportunity or an invitation to go as hard as I've ever gone in my life, because I know I'm going to have plenty of time to recover from that stimulus. And if I want to get those muscles to grow, here's my opportunity to blast the shit out of them until I hit them again. Now, a lot of people, however, do a push-pull split and turn it into a 6-day split. Push-pull legs, day off. Not a fan of that whatsoever. I'm not a fan of 6-day splits at all. I wouldn't recommend that. I think you need at least 2 full days to recover. I think recovery is a key element here, and I think you're just putting in way, way too much volume, and you're talking about a guy who's not a big volume guy. I like higher intensity, lower volume training, and I think that yields the best results over the long term, especially for the unenhanced or completely natural athlete. So that's why I'm a big fan of having that extra recovery time. That's why I also subscribe to a pro split. I will do, basically one body part each day, sometimes 2, depending on the split. Now, one thing I do like to do on a pro split is doing alternate week splits, meaning on week 1, now see, again, let me qualify this as well. Back to the push-pull legs, if you have access to a gym locally 7 days a week, then you could do push-pull legs, take a day off, push-pull legs, take a day off, push-pull legs, take a day off, and just keep rotating it like that. I can't do that because I live, 30 minutes from my gym and I have family commitments. So I train Monday through Friday and I have to take the weekends off, which I'm thrilled to do that. And I wouldn't really change it if I could. But if you have a 7-day work week, I do as well. So I'll do alternate splits. So I'll have a little emphasis on recovery each week for different body parts. So on week 1, I would do back on Monday, chest and shoulders on Tuesday. I do a huge nasty leg day on Wednesday. I'll do arms isolated, triceps and biceps on Thursday, and then back to a push-pull on Friday. So I am hitting back and chest again at the end of the week. So I'll hit back and chest early in the week, Monday and Tuesday, and then do it again on Friday. And then what I try to do on that Friday is select areas of those larger muscle groups, like for instance, back, by maybe dividing it up. So I'll do more, pure lat-based pulling movements on Monday. And then when I do push-pull again on Friday, I might target more of the rhomboids and the traps and, certain other, mid-back, that sort of stuff, and do different types of movements to target different areas of the back. So that way I still know I can put everything into those workouts, have ample recovery, and be ready to hit it hard again the following week. But see, on the following week, I'm going to not do that additional push-pull workout. So on Monday, I would do back again. Tuesday, I would do leg day 1, which would be quad emphasized. That'd be still one of my typical hard, badass, ridiculous all in 110% leg days, but I wouldn't isolate any hamstring work and I wouldn't throw in calves. So I would do more of a quadricep based workout. I do my heavy squatting, my belt squatting, leg pressing, heavy lunges, things like that on leg day 1. And then I would do chest and shoulders on Wednesday. We would do arms on Thursday. And then on Friday, we would come back to legs again, but this time only isolating hamstrings and calves. So we'd do, multiple sets of leg curls. We would do, Romanian deadlifts or stiff leg deadlifts, things like that. Maybe some cable pull throughs, some hip thrusts, glute bridges, whatever you want to call them, and then do a lot of calf work on that same day. So we're basically dividing up the legs again. So I can blast them hard on that first leg day, and then I can isolate and hit those hamstrings and calves hard on that Friday. And then the following week, we go back to split 1, where it's just one leg workout. So the legs will get a little bit more recovery that week. So I like doing an alternating split like that. I think that's a great way to train, because my thing is this, and just to reiterate, not get too long-winded on this, I like doing a 5-day pro split because I know and I believe, and, I'll be honest, I enjoy pushing myself hard in the gym, pushing the limits of my physique, regardless of age, goals, whatever. I know I'm always going to go hard because that's just what I believe. That's the way I've been raised. That's what I've been through. And that's where I've seen by far the most results for myself and my clients. So I'm going to continue doing the pro split every week, oftentimes the alternating pro split, because I know I can completely destroy a body part and it's going to be many days, sometimes a week before I hit that body part again. Some might say, well, that's too long. You're going to lose muscle. Well, that's not a thing. You're not going to lose muscle in the course of a week, especially if your diet is on point, your recovery is on point. You may be compensating and then overcompensating from that workout for 48 to 72 hours. I mean, there's been times where we've done horrific squat days and I've still been sore 3-4 days later. And that's a fairly good indicator that you still got a little bit of overcompensation, in your future, and just be best to leave them alone, because even when those muscle groups have fully overcompensated from the stress that you put on them, you're not going to atrophy over a couple of days just because you haven't trained that muscle group again. That's just not the way it works. So if I train legs really, really hard on Wednesday and I don't hit legs again until the following Wednesday, that's fine. Do you think I'm actually going to lose muscle? No. And I certainly haven't put myself in a position to, compromise muscle growth as well. In fact, what I've done is I've taken out a big insurance policy to ensure that A, I've destroyed the muscles on a brutal workout, and B, I've eaten a high protein, moderate fat diet that's going to help me with my recovery and my hormonal, balance. And I'm going to keep that positive nitrogen balance throughout the week. I'm going to get, 8 hours of sleep or more per night. I'm going to get my recovery in, all the things that are going to make sure that overcompensation occurs until I hit those muscle groups again. So I just wanted to clarify that, there are different splits out there. And if you go hard, they all do work. But my personal preference over the years is to do that 5-day split or a 4-day split. And if I do a PPL split, for me, it's going to be a 3-day split. And I'm going to just give it absolute hell, more hell than I would if I was doing a rotating PPL, 3 on, 1 off, 3 on, 2 off, or whatever, because I know there's ample time for recovery. So especially in the confines of a 7-day work week. So if I'm training Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I've got Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday to recover and grow. So I'm going to go all out. So I hope that makes sense. And then someone also asked, intensity. It's so subjective to everyone. Is it really? Is getting to the point of almost fucking dying, that's subjective? I think that's pretty commonplace for just about everybody. And, and a lot of times people, no matter what I say or what others say, they just don't get it, because sometimes there's just this part of their brain that doesn't want to receive the message because they're happy in their little comfy spot that they're in and they don't want to take it to that another level. So this individual says, give me an example of one of those workouts. Well, I didn't know really why I needed to give example of fucking kill yourself until you can hardly move and you're rolled up in the fetal position, laying on the floor, sucking your thumb, thinking about, all the decisions you've made in your life. But if you did want an example, then here's a very common, typical way I would approach it to somebody who says, just give me a fucking workout that I'm going to hate my life with. I'm going to say, okay, fine. I want you to pick either a barbell back squat or a belt squat if you have one. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put weight on there that would be roughly 50%, 40 to 50% of your 1 rep max. And now I want you to do 100 reps. Now, here are the rules. If you're doing a barbell back squat, you cannot rack that bar. You can take up to 10 breaths of a break if you like, but you do not rack the bar. You do not rest. You pause at the top of the movement. You take 8 or 10 breaths, and then you keep squatting deep, full range of motion, and you keep pumping those babies out until you get to 100, and then you rack it. Now, I know a lot of you people out there saying, no big deal, right? Well, try it. It fucking sucks. And you will start questioning your existence and wish you'd never asked the damn question after you do that. Or, like me and many others, you may get this sadistic smile that takes over your face and you've crossed over to a place that there's no returning from. And now you're one of these sociopath, crazy people that wants to completely punish themselves at every single workout. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. So there's a good example. Me and my workout partner, Jason, who I've got to get back on the channel to kind of help me out when I go off into the weeds. We did a belt squat workout on Wednesday, and it was simply 30 reps. We picked a very, very challenging weight since 30 reps was the goal, because 30 is different. People, here's my point. Heavy workouts, I don't think are that tough. Now, they're challenging, of course, but if you tell me, give me 10 reps to failure, well, I can do that all day long because it's only muscularly taxing, really. Now, if you tell me to take a weight that I can only get 15 of, and now put that weight on there and now give me 30, and here are the rules. You can't rest more than 5 breaths and you can never rack the weight. Well, that level of intensity is going to be something that you may not have experienced before and you may not even be ready for. It sounds simple, and on paper, maybe it doesn't look like that big of a deal. But I'm telling you, when we did sets of 30 at a weight that we generally would do 15 with, when we'd get to that 15 and start to freaking die and the legs would quiver and buckle and scream and everything was on fire and your soul was telling you to quit now as a defense mechanism of death, and then you do 5 more and you take a breath or two, and then you do 5 more and then 3 more and then 4 more and then 2 more, then you get pissed off and you just want to get it over with, so you get another 5 and you get to that 30, you unstrap that belt and you fall on the floor and you say, fuck my life. Well, guess what? You got 2-3 more sets to do at that point. So that's the kind of level of intensity I'm talking about. And as bad as it sucks, it was really, really cool when it was over. And I had trouble going down the stairs a couple times that day and the day after, and I'm still a little tender today. So once again, back to the original point, I'm not going to hit legs again until next Wednesday. Am I worried about losing any lean mass between now and Wednesday? No, because I create the right environment to keep overcompensating growth. And when that growth is stopped, then because of the way I consume protein and nutrients and get plenty of rest and sleep and my supplementation is on point, I know that I stand no risk of burning off any of that lean tissue. It's not like I'm going to go walk across country or, run a freaking marathon. At the most, I might do 20, 30 minutes of easy, steady state cardio or run around the backyard chasing my grandson. But I'm not going to do anything that's going to compromise that overcompensation and that growth. And I will be damn ready to destroy those freaking legs the following Wednesday again. So hope that makes sense. I just wanted to give you a little part B to part 1. And then next week, I'm going to do that part 2, which I'm really excited about because we're going to tap into something that I don't talk about a lot, but I'm very, very passionate about, and that's manipulating hormones in the body to make sure that you can naturally produce as much testosterone as you can at any age and keep that ratio of testosterone and estrogen where it needs to be. And that's something that I've always experimented with. I've always found fascinating. I've played with a lot. I don't talk about it a lot, but maybe I should talk about it a lot more. And I've even thought about maybe doing another video down the road that talks about specific things that you can do through nutrition and supplementation and even training and recovery that's going to help you boost testosterone, because the boosting of hormones is a critical issue right now in this point in time. Because with average test levels of most males being significantly on average lower than they were just a decade ago, and it monumentally, exquisitely lower than they were 30, 40 years ago, then it needs to be addressed because of the lack of activity, the lack of vitamin D, the poor nutrient quality, too much alcohol, shitty lifestyles, lack of heavy training. All these things add up and hormone levels drop, and that's why, well, that's why there's a lot of shit going on out there in our culture. But anyway, I don't want to be the grumpy old guy, but we're going to talk about that, and it's going to be an exciting topic because it is something I'm passionate about. So look for part 2 next week. We're going to do that hormone video following that. So if you like what we're doing here, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share the video, make a comment, let me know if you need anything. It's my pleasure to help, and I look forward to the next video. And until then, train hard, diet harder, and have a great day.